Hey guys, the Gaming Geek here, and welcome to this video where we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 4 specs versus the Xbox One specs. Now, this is from an article on IGN. There'll be a link in the description to this, and I'm going to be just comparing them both so you know both where they stand from a hardware point of view. I'm not going to go too much into my own personal opinion. I maybe do that in a future video, but if you do have any questions regarding either console, leave them in the comment section down below. I've done a lot of research, so I should know all the answers to any questions you may have, and if there's enough of them, I may actually make a dedicated video to answering your questions. So, to start off with, both consoles have a Blu-ray and DVD optical drive. Now, we were unsure a while back, whether the Xbox would be disc-free or the PlayStation. We found the answer out to the PlayStation a few months ago, and the Xbox is following the same suit. I think it is the right path to go because the world isn't quite ready for download only. Not everyone's got the internet capable of downloading all their games, and it just makes sense to have a Blu-ray drive. A lot of people, have some Blu-ray films and things like that, and definitely Blu-ray was the way to go for either console, because if you're going down an optical drive, Blu-ray is the best technology out there at the moment, and I'm sure Sony are a little bit happy of this because the Blu-ray technology is their technology, so I'm sure for every Xbox sold, they're probably going to get a percentage of that because of the patent rights on the Blu-ray. So, both consoles have the capabilities of a DVR. Basically, they can both record gameplay while you're playing it, and they both work on the same sort of design where it gets saved to the cloud and you can edit it through the console, and then you can retrieve it at any time or share it on your social networks and things like that. So they both work exactly the same in that region. Now, when it comes down to RAM, they both have 8 gigabytes, but they do vary, and it is quite a difference between either of them. Now, the PS4 has 8GB GDDR5. Now, basically, what it's doing is it's using GDDR5 is basically gaming RAM, and because it's DDR5, it is very, very fast gaming RAM. It's some of the fastest out there at the moment. So, by doing that, it's basically allowing the gaming RAM to be used by the other components in the PS4. It's kind of making it a bit open. But also, because it's gaming RAM, the graphics card is going to benefit the most from this. So basically, the graphics card is doing a lot more processes than the CPU is. So that RAM is able to feed as much as the GPU is going to be needing. So, if you think of the GPU, I don't know, the GPU is doing a lot of processes all in, a few seconds, so it needs as much bandwidth as possible, and GDDR5 is going to give it that. Although when it comes to the CPU, it doesn't actually need to do so much, so it's kind of benefiting the GPU more than it is the CPU, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing on the CPU side. When it goes over to the Xbox has regular DDR3 RAM that most of you probably have in your computer these days, and that is great for the CPU. The CPU loves that. That will work hand in hand. But when it comes to the graphics processing, it's not really going to have the amount of power that you'd maybe see in the PlayStation 4 with the graphics-based RAM. So, it can work both ways. It really just depends on how the game's code and things like that. But graphic performance, in terms of RAM, I think the PlayStation 4 would, as a console, is going to benefit more from having that gaming RAM than I think the Xbox is going to benefit having, the more traditional RAM that you see in a computer. So really, out of those two, I would say that the PS4 is slightly ahead. But as I said, it all depends on how it's coded and how it works out, and also what other processes are going on, what's going to hog RAM, So, when it comes to the CPU, they've both got very, very similar. They're all pretty much the same. They're both AMD processors. They're both 8-core. We know more about the PlayStation 4 where we know it's a Jaguar processor, but the Xbox One, as far as I'm aware, now I actually should have checked this. I did mean to check it, but I'm pretty sure that the Xbox is a 1.6 gigahertz. I'm just reading here. Can anyone say? I don't know. I think it's 1.6 gigahertz. And I will change, I'll put it in the description of the comments if I do check that up and it is wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's 1.6 gigahertz on the Xbox, but the PS3 does have a 2 gigahertz processor. That basically means that it can operate slightly faster. Even though they're both the same, it's just got that little extra performance boost that it may need. So, at the moment, it looks like the PS4 has the hardware advantage. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to say this again, it is how it's coded. If the Xbox operating system, which is basically Windows at the moment, it's the same kernel as Windows. If that's coded really, really well, it may actually end up being faster than PlayStation one that's coded really, really badly. So it's not, you know, it's not going to say what's actually going to work day to day faster. It's just saying when it comes down to the specs, what should win. When it goes down to storage, as we've got next here, we've got no actual amount of storage specified for the PS4. They just said a large amount of storage. I'm guessing they're going to have multiple, you know, storage options which you can choose. I'm hoping you can upgrade it like you could in the PS3. That'd be really, really cool. But the Xbox One has a 500GB hard drive, and as far as I can tell from my research, you can't change that hard drive. That is in the device, and once you have that, you have that. But you can add external storage through USB. How much the operating system is going to allow, we don't know. Second screen, the Xbox One has a smart glass capability, so that if you do have a Windows tablet or phone, you can connect to the Xbox and kind of use your tablet or phone as the controller. And at the moment, you can get like apps for iOS that do the same thing as well. I don't know how they're going to expand that, if they are going to expand that to allow iOS. I hope so. But on the other hand, the PS4 does have the Vita, which is going to be working even more in tune with the PlayStation 4 than it even did with the PS3. So basically, they're both going to kind of do the same thing, but maybe the Vita is going to be a less used option than maybe the smart glasses, because probably more people, chances are, have a, you know, a Windows phone already, and maybe less people have a Vita already. I don't know. It really does depend on the person, how beneficial it's going to be. Now, if we go to the next point, cloud storage, both are going to support cloud storage. You're both going to put up your game saves to the cloud. As you know, I think the Xbox has been doing it as well. The PlayStation's definitely been doing that for a while anyway. Mandatory game installs is the next thing. Xbox One is going to have mandatory game installs, and also from what I've heard from pretty good news sources, is that not only do you have to install it, that game is then sort of locked to that account. So if you take it to another console or you buy a game secondhand, you will have to pay a fee in order to use it on that account, which does kind of suck. It's kind of what EA did with this online pass sort of thing. I don't like it, but I don't think it's going to be detrimental. It's going to be a good moneymaker for Microsoft right now, but I think it's going to affect some stores that do sell secondhand games, and it's going to have a larger effect over a longer period of time. But there we are. The PS4 does not, at the moment, have mandatory game installs, but it's not been confirmed either way, so who knows. Required internet connection. The PS4 does not require an internet connection to play the console, although the Xbox technically doesn't. You can only play offline, apparently, for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you will need to sign back in. Now, every time Microsoft get asked about this, they say a few sentences about it that sort of confuse you more than you were before you asked the question. But a few people have been asking it, and kind of what we can get from it is you're going to be, you'll have 24 hours, and then after that, you will have to connect to continue. So that's kind of a bummer. It's going to annoy a few people. I can see it coming. But it's just the way it is, and we'll have to deal with that. As said, the next point here, I didn't even see that coming. Use game fee, yes for the Xbox, no for the PlayStation. That was just one of the points that were written down here. Kind of got a bit ahead of myself there. Backwards compatibility. It does say none here for both, although PlayStation did suggest that using their Gaikai partnership, they will be able to allow you to stream your older games of the Gaikai network. So the PlayStation itself won't actually be emulating it, but there is a chance that you will be able to stream it. I'm not sure if you already own the game, you put the disc in, it allows you to get it from Gaikai for free, or you have to pay a subscription, or you buy the games individually again. I'm not sure it's going to work, but that is something definitely that Sony are looking into and are working on. Xbox, I have no idea. There's nothing been confirmed at all. There's no backwards compatibility in the console, but there's no kind of streaming thing confirmed like you have on the PlayStation, even though that isn't confirmed yet. Let me just make that clear. Cross-game chat. Yes, the PS4 has cross-game chat. It's about time that the console saw it, but it does have it. And the Xbox One will have Skype embedded in there. So I think Skype could be really, really useful, as you could chat with people while you're playing your Xbox that maybe don't have an Xbox. You know, if you're just playing the game, you can kind of, have a group chat with some people. And that's pretty cool. I do like the sound of that. At the minute, I kind of have to hook my game audio through my Astros if I want to kind of hear a Skype conversation and talk to a few people while I'm playing Xbox. So that sounds pretty cool. I do like that. It is a good idea. Although kind of PlayStation don't have that to use because Skype is a Microsoft product now. So, but cross-game chat still very, very welcome. Motion control, basically the DualShock 4 is pairing up with the PlayStation Eye on the PS4, and the PlayStation Eye comes stock with the console, and it'll be able to detect the lighting that is on the controller, and things like split screen. You can it'll orientate the split screen depending on where you sit in the room. You can tell things like that. Those are kind of things we can see at the minute. I don't know how far it's going to go, but they are just showing little things that they can do with it now. So that's pretty cool. The Xbox One has Kinect 2, which comes stock with the console yet again, and you can use voice commands: Xbox on, Xbox off, Xbox home, Xbox game, things like that. And also you can use hand gestures to navigate as well. That all looks pretty cool. Both, I think, is quite a gimmick. I think at the moment, I only know, to do the PlayStation, I only know about this DualShock 4 split screen thing. That's not so much of a gimmick, because that's actually quite helpful. But I think a lot of the Kinect stuff is a gimmick at the moment. This is just my personal opinion. And from what I've seen over the years, if PlayStation Eye did the same thing, I'll be saying the same thing. That all this talking to your Xbox star thing is, I feel, a little bit of a gimmick, and it's going to wear off, A bit like Siri. It's all great at first, saying, text my friend. And by the end of it, you're just like, I'm just going to do it on my phone. It's just going to be quicker. I can't be bothered to mess around with it. But it does work pretty well, and it is pretty snappy. So it is a good piece of software. I do admire it, but at the same time, I do feel it's going to be a gimmick that's going to wear off. Anyway, no voice commands, therefore, on the PlayStation 4, but there is on the Xbox One. There is no paid subscription service that's been confirmed on the PS4. But there is Xbox Live is to continue in the same fee as far as we're aware for Xbox One. USB, they both got USB 3.0. They're both going to be the same speed, so that's all fine. Live streaming, it says on here to be confirmed for the PlayStation, but I do remember the PlayStation, or Sony in general, announcing that they're partnering with Twitch to allow you to stream to Twitch. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say you can live stream with the PlayStation 4. I think this is like a misprint. The Xbox One, nothing confirmed yet to do with the live streaming, although I think it's most likely going to happen because you can already record your gameplay and share it. It's not going to be much to adding live streaming as well, especially with the new server upgrades they're doing to Xbox Live. Reputation preservation. I see, right. Trophies will be ported on the PlayStation 4 and achievements will be ported on the Xbox One. There we are, that's all to say. And something to do with achievements on the Xbox, which I recently heard, is that your achievements can be adapted as you go along. So, as a game gets developed and maybe new DLC added, your achievements can kind of be altered and changed and more achievements added in. I've seen, like, DLC trophies on the PlayStation 4, but I've never really investigated the achievement system on the Xbox. I don't know if you could do that kind of thing before. DLC would add new trophies and things like that. Achievements and things like that. But I've heard something about them being to modify the achievements in a game once it's been released. I don't know. Web connection. They're both, the PS4 is going to have an Ethernet with IEEE 802.11 BGN Wi-Fi. It's internet protocols. It's all similar things, gigabit internet, then gigabit Ethernet, then on the Xbox, Wi-Fi yet again. It's all very, very similar stuff. Bluetooth, they both have Bluetooth. It's the first time we've seen it on an Xbox console, so maybe the controller will connect through Bluetooth. It's much better than using infrared that the Xbox 360 used. So it's nice to see that upgraded. Bluetooth 2.1 as well, all going to work well. They're all both exactly the same on both consoles. And then the final thing we're looking at today is the AV hookups, and they're both going to use HDMI, they both have optical output, and they both support 4K. Although the PS4 is still going to support component and RCA, although the Xbox is getting rid of it. Not really bummed out about that. Component and RCA, you guys shouldn't be using it anymore. If you're getting a new console, get a new TV to go with it, because seriously, it's just pointless playing without having it on HDMI. You're really not going to see the difference. So hopefully that's cleared anything up with any questions you may have had. If it hasn't, leave them in the comment section down below. I will answer them. If there's enough of them, I will do it in a video. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next video. But as always, drink tea and game on.